Have you ever wondered why some people walk into a room and instantly draw every eye, speak with certainty, act with decisiveness, and seem unshakable? Meanwhile, others just as talented, perhaps even more intelligent, hesitate, lack confidence, and often retreat when opportunities appear. The secret isn't luck or natural gifts. Confidence is not a heaven-sent blessing. It is a skill, a kind of mental muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. Over years of work, observation, and walking alongside thousands of people, I've realized one clear truth. Confidence doesn't come from others praising how good you are, nor merely from past achievements. It comes from within, from a deep belief that no matter what happens, I am capable of facing it and overcoming it. Quote, but how do you build that belief? How do you create solid confidence that won't be swept away by criticism, a failure, or a bad day? On my journey, I've distilled 5 core steps to building unshakable confidence. These are not abstract theories. They're lessons I've learned through experience, mistakes, from my great teacher, Mr. Chof, and by observing highly successful people. Each step is like a brick, laid day by day, constructing a fortress of confidence. Once you master them, fear of challenges fades. You'll walk with certainty, and most importantly, you will trust yourself. In today's video, I will share these 5 steps with you. Let's begin the journey to building unshakable confidence. Step 1, face your fear. You and I both know the greatest enemy of confidence is fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being judged. And ironically, the more we avoid it, the bigger it grows like a shadow that never leaves. You run, it runs. You stop, it stands right behind you. Fear only begins to shrink when you dare to turn around and face it. I've met thousands of people full of potential who never dared to step into the light simply because they were afraid. They had ideas, dreams, but kept them locked inside, never acting. Year after year, their confidence eroded because no one can truly be confident while living in avoidance. What you must remember is this: confidence doesn't mean being fearless. Confidence is taking action despite fear. It's stepping on stage with your heart racing. It's voicing your opinion in a tense meeting. It's daring to start a business, knowing failures are inevitable. Each act of facing fear lays another brick in the foundation of confidence. Think of an athlete. The first time they stand before the crowd, their hands shake, their heart pounds, but they still compete. The second and third times, fear is still there, but smaller. One day, the spotlight no longer terrifies them. It energizes them. Confidence is forged through confrontation, not avoidance. I remember my early days as a young man. I had to face public speaking. Honestly, I shook, stumbled over words, and sweat poured down. I wanted to run, but I knew if I ran this time, I would always run. So I stayed. I spoke even if I stuttered. I failed, but I didn't die. I was embarrassed, but then realized fear couldn't kill me. And each time I kept going, I felt a little more confident. Fear is like a locked door. As long as you stand outside, it's a wall. But the moment you dare to touch the handle, you realize there's an open space waiting behind it. What you fear most is often exactly what you need to grow. A conversation you avoid might be the start of a new relationship. A challenge you delay might be the opportunity that changes your life. So I want to ask you, what are you most afraid of right now? How long have you been avoiding it? Be honest, write it down. And today, don't think about conquering it completely. Just take one small step. Send the email you've postponed, sign up for a course, call the friend you've wanted advice from. One step is enough, because every step into fear is reclaiming a piece of your power. I've seen many talented people trapped in the invisible cage called fear. And I've also seen ordinary people rise to greatness simply because they dared to cross that line. You don't need to be entirely fearless. You only need enough courage to take one step. And those small steps will build the strongest confidence. Remember, fear never disappears. It will always exist. But the more you face it, the less power it has. Like training a muscle, each confrontation is another rep with an invisible weight. Over time, that mental muscle becomes strong, helping you stand firm against any challenge. This is the first step to building unshakable confidence. Face your fear, because only when you dare to face it, you truly begin to live. Step 2, master the small disciplines. If facing fear helps you break external barriers, then small disciplines are the inner foundation that makes confidence last. I often say, confidence is built from keeping promises to yourself. And those promises aren't about grand achievements right away. They're about the small, repeated actions every single day. Imagine this. Each time you promise yourself to wake up at 6 a.m. and you actually do it, you lay a brick in the fortress of your confidence. But if you hit snooze and roll back to sleep, you remove a brick. Day by day, each habit and each kept or broken promise determines whether your foundation stands firm or crumbles. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for big victories to feel confident. The truth is, confidence doesn't come from rare moments of glory, but from consistent daily habits. One loud success cannot make up for hundreds of times you've broken promises to yourself. I remember my early days starting a business. I couldn't land big contracts overnight, but I could do the small things. Read 10 pages of a book each day, make 2 extra client calls, write 1 learning note after each conversation. These small disciplines seemed insignificant, but over time they made a difference. Because every time I kept my word to myself, I sent a message inside, I can trust me. Ultimately, confidence is self-trust. And how can you trust yourself if you don't even keep the smallest promises? You might fool others, but you can't fool yourself. Deep down, you'll always know. And your confidence will leak away bit by bit. Think of it this way. Every small discipline is like depositing a coin into your confidence bank. At first, the balance seems tiny, but day after day, you keep depositing. One day, you'll have a fortune. And when life throws challenges at you, you can withdraw that trust to stand firm. You may think, but I failed many times at keeping discipline. Yes, you will slip, I did too. We all do. But the important thing isn't whether you slip, it's how fast you return. Missing one workout doesn't make you a quitter unless you let it stretch into a week, a month. The key is to get back on track quickly so your confidence bank doesn't run dry. Think about fitness. Skip 1 session and your muscles won't vanish overnight. But skip a month and you'll see the decline. Confidence works the same way it needs maintenance. Each small discipline is like an exercise that keeps your mental muscles strong. Pause for a moment. When was the last time you promised yourself something and didn't follow through? Maybe it was small, reading, drinking enough water, or making a call you said you would. Do you remember how you felt? That was a crack in your self-trust. Repeat it often enough and it becomes a hole. So I encourage you to start today. Choose one small, simple discipline and commit to it. It doesn't need to be grand. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water upon waking, writing 3 things you're grateful for before bed, or spending 15 minutes reading daily. Make it small enough that no excuse can stop you, yet meaningful enough to send a positive signal to yourself. You'll be surprised at how much confidence grows simply from proving to yourself, I can do what I say. And once you build a solid base of small disciplines, you'll be ready to take on bigger, tougher goals. This is the second key to building unshakable confidence. Master the small disciplines. Because if you can trust yourself in little things, you can trust yourself in big things too. Step 3, invest in self-education. There's a saying from my great teacher, Mr. Schultz, that I've never forgotten. Work hard on your job, and you'll make a living. Work hard on yourself, and you'll make a fortune. That truth opened my eyes. Real confidence comes from knowledge and continuous growth. It's hard to feel confident walking into a meeting when you know nothing about the topic. You can't be confident standing on stage if you're unprepared. Ignorance breeds fear. But when you equip yourself with knowledge, skills, and preparation, you stand tall. Picture this. You want to row a boat into the open sea. Passion alone won't help if you don't have a map or can't read the wind. You'll always feel nervous, tossed around. But if you've learned navigation, studied the maps, and understand the waves, then even in rough seas, you'll row with calm confidence. That's the power of self-education. I didn't start with a strong foundation. I had no advanced degree, no ready-made network, but I had one thing, a hunger to learn. I read books, I attended seminars, I sought out mentors better than me, watched them, listened to them. Each book, each lesson was like a brick, raising both my mind and my belief. And when I applied what I learned, confidence turned into real results. I remember the first time I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book didn't hand me a magic formula, but it changed the way I saw the world. It gave me a language, a system to understand success. And when I applied its principles, I realized I truly could shape change. My self-belief grew with every page, every idea. But here's what you must remember. Knowledge is worthless unless applied. You can read dozens of books, listen to hundreds of podcasts, attend countless courses, but if you only know without doing, confidence won't appear. Confidence comes when you see yourself turn knowledge into action and action into results. For example, if you study communication, go talk to a stranger. If you study business, launch a small project. If you study health, adopt a new habit today. Every time you turn knowledge into experience, you plant seeds of confidence. The beauty of self-education is that it never ends. The world changes daily. If you stop learning, you fall behind. But if you keep the spirit of a lifelong learner, you'll always adapt, and your confidence will never run dry. Because you know, no matter what happens, you can learn how to handle it. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly invested in your learning? I'm not talking about degrees or certificates. I mean, when you intentionally sought a new skill, read a valuable book, or sat down to absorb and apply an idea. If it's been a long time, maybe your confidence has been quietly fading without you noticing. So start today. Buy a useful book instead of scrolling endlessly. Sign up for a small course instead of waiting for the perfect opportunity. Spend 15 minutes a day learning something new instead of thinking you need 3 hours. Small, consistent investments in learning will transform your life. Remember, knowledge fuels confidence. When you know you have tools, skills, and preparation, you dare to rise, to act, to try. And from there, you'll go farther than anyone who stays in the comfort zone. This is the third step to building unshakable confidence. Invest in self-education. Because those who never stop learning never stop growing. And those who never stop growing will always have the confidence to face any challenge in life. Step 4, choose the right environment and people. Here's a truth I believe you'll agree with. We are products of our environment and the people around us. Confidence doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's either nurtured or destroyed by the people you allow into your life. Think about it. If every day you surround yourself with people who complain, criticize, and constantly say, "You can't," how long will you keep believing in your dream? On the other hand, if you're in a group where everyone says, "Go for it," and "I believe you can do it," won't you feel stronger? I've seen so many talented people buried not because they lacked ability, but because they were surrounded by negative voices. Day by day, their belief was drained until they doubted themselves. Confidence is like a flame. Put it in freezing wind and it flickers out. Place it where there's oxygen and it burns brighter. One of the most important decisions in my life was choosing my mentors and friends. I sought out people ahead of me, people living with the confidence and success I desired. I sat with them, listened to them, learned how they thought, and their confidence rubbed off on me. Like a candle lighting others, their flames spread without losing its own. Here's what I want you to remember. Confidence is contagious. Stay around positive people, and their confidence will infect you. Stay around negative people, and their doubts will cling to you too. So be honest. Who's in your circle of influence? Do they lift you up or drag you down? When you share your dreams, do they encourage you or laugh at you? It's not a comfortable question, but it's necessary. Because if you want unshakable confidence, you need a positive ecosystem, a place where you're nurtured, not drained. I'm not saying cut ties with every negative family member or friend that's unrealistic, but you can choose how to allocate your time and energy. Spend less time with those who make you doubt yourself. Spend more time with those who inspire you. Find a mentor, find a community, find a group striving to grow bigger than themselves. There's an image I love. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If those 5 are brave and positive, you'll become stronger. If they only complain, it's hard to stay confident. So the real question is, who are your current top 5? To build confidence, you need the right climate, just like plants need sunlight and water to grow. You can't plant a tree in the desert and expect it to thrive. Likewise, you can't sustain confidence if you live in a toxic environment. So start today. Write down 3 names. 1 person who inspires you. 1 person you want to learn from. 1 person who believes in and supports you. Then find ways to be closer to them. A phone call, a coffee chat, or simply reading their books, or following their positive content each day. Gradually, you'll see your confidence grow not just from personal effort, but from collective strength. This is the 4th step to building unshakable confidence. Choose the right environment and people, because confidence is not built in isolation, it's nurtured in community. Step 5, see failure as part of the journey. When people think about confidence, they often picture victories, success, and shining moments. But I want you to understand one thing clearly. Lasting confidence is not born from wins, it's born from how you face failure. Failure sounds scary. It tightens your chest, wounds your pride, sometimes makes you want to disappear. I've felt that way too. But then I realized failure is not the enemy of success. Failure is an inseparable part of it. Think back to when you learned to ride a bike. Did you fall? Of course. Did you get bruised? Yes. But those falls taught you balance. And each time you got back up, you grew closer to the confidence of saying, I can ride. Life works the same way. Every failure is just a lesson, a stepping stone to greater strength. My mentor Shoaf once told me, failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. Success, on the other hand, is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. When I understood this, everything changed. I stopped seeing failure as the end. I saw it as a signpost. This part went wrong, time to adjust. Take Edison, for example. He tried thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. He didn't call them failures. He called them ways that didn't work. That mindset gave him perseverance, and perseverance became his foundation of confidence, because once you're no longer afraid of failure, you dare to try more. And with each try, you learn more. I've seen many talented people stuck because of their fear of failure. They think, what if I fail? That thought kills confidence before they even start. But here's the truth. Fear of failure is worse than failure itself, because fear keeps you from moving at all. And if you never move, you'll never progress. So reflect for a moment. When was the last time you failed? How did you respond? Did you blame yourself, give up, or did you extract a lesson? That's the difference. The insecure see failure as proof they're not good enough. The confident see failure as proof they're still learning. Think of failure like weightlifting. When you lift, your muscles tear slightly. That sounds painful, but it's exactly what makes them stronger when they heal. Likewise, every failure stretches your belief. But when you rise again, you become stronger, more confident. So don't avoid failure, embrace it. Treat each failure as a lesson, a step forward. When you do, you'll realize failure doesn't destroy your confidence. It forges it into something unshakable. Here's the message I want to leave you with. Failure is not the end, it's part of the journey. The only true failure is giving up. As long as you keep learning and moving, you're still moving forward. This is the fifth step to building unshakable confidence. See failure as a natural part of the journey. Because when you're no longer afraid of failure, you are free to experiment, free to act, free to become the strongest version of yourself. My friend, we've just walked through the 5 steps to building unshakable confidence. Face your fear, because only by looking it straight in the eye can you truly be free. Master the small disciplines, the foundation for trusting yourself every single day. Invest in self-education, because knowledge is the fuel that powers you forward. Choose the right environment and people. Those around you will either lift you up or pull you down. See failure as part of the journey, because every fall is a precious lesson that makes you stronger. Remember, confidence doesn't appear overnight. It's built from small, repeated actions. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you face your fear, every time you learn something new, every time you stay close to inspiring people, and every time you rise after a setback, you lay another brick in the fortress of your confidence. Maybe today you still feel weak. Maybe you still tremble before challenges ahead. But believe me, confidence is not the privilege of a chosen few. It's a gift anyone can create for themselves. You don't need to wait. You can start today with just one small step. Jim Rohn once said, if you can master the day, you can master your life. So begin today. Master one small discipline. Face one fear. Learn one new thing. Choose one positive companion. And see failure as part of the journey, step by step, day by day. You'll watch your confidence grow steady, strong, and unshakable. Before you leave this video, I have one question for you. Out of the 5 steps we discussed today, which one will you start with first? Share your answer in the comments. It might inspire someone else. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the Jim Rohn Treasures channel so these valuable lessons can reach more people. Goodbye for now. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll explore even more principles of success and personal growth together.